So, hi guys. Mapapansin nyo dito ako ngayon sa Bronx Zoo. So, ayan yung view ko doon. Yung area doon. So, kung makikita nyo, pag tayo doon, nandun yung banda yung seal enclosure. So, tignan lang natin kung anong makikita natin dito. Ngayon ay Friday. So, medyo matao. Pero masaya naman dito. Kung makikita nyo, yun ang zoo. So, pupunta tayo doon ngayon guys. Titignan natin ang mga seal. Ayan, laki ng rhinoceros. Guys, tignan nyo gano'ng kalaki yan, no? Come on. Tignan nyo gano'ng kalaki, ha? Oh, wow. Ang laki, guys. Tignan nyo. Ito pala ang actual size ng rhinoceros.
That's the actual size?
Yeah, that's the actual size. At tignan nyo yung mga flowers, oh. Ang gaganda ng flowers. Chloe, the flowers, oh. Oh.
Chloe, you ano hold it.
So, samahan nyo ako at tara, papasyal pa tayo, ikot pa tayo sa Bronx Zoo. Tingnan natin kung ano yung mga display nila, ano mga pwedeng tingnan. So, ito pala yung zoo center. Makikita nyo yung zoo center. So, nangangamoy na dito. Ano masasabi mo sa Bronx Zoo? Well, there's the seal enclosure right there, so we're gonna go. Yan, papasok tayo dito guys. At ito ang sa loob ng center. Wow, ang laki. Oh, this were the giraffes. Rhinos are outside today. What's inside here? Let's take a look here. What's in here? Oh, it's the Komodo dragon. Babaho dito. Ito yung Komodo dragon. Hindi ka ba nakikita ang Komodo dragon? You spot anything?
Yeah.
Where? I don't see anything. Oh, there it is, right there. There's a Komodo dragon. Come on, let's go. Let's go, girls. Wala pala tayo doon, guys. So, ito ay palabas doon sa enclosure ng mga seal. Having fun? Here's where you run. So guys, ayan. So yun doon, nandun yung seal enclosure.
I hope Dippin' Dots is open.
We'll buy Dippin' Dots later.
I want to eat Dippin' Dots forever.
Forever?
Perfect. Yeah, and hotter.
It's nice, right?
It's not humid. Yeah.
See guys, so ito ang, yun, meron na bang, ano yun?
Nuggets today?
So, we're enclosure.
Wait, I'm gonna start slow. Purple pearl. Purple pearl. Purple pearl.
So, titingnan natin sila. So, doon ang seal banda. So, tayo naglalakad lang guys. Natin kung So, punta lang tayo sa may seal area. Magandang weather ngayon guys. Hindi mainit. Maaraw pero hindi mainit. Tama pang pumasok talaga. Hopefully, ikot lang tayo dito. Tingnan natin kung anong meron dito, guys.
I'm not taking anything.
So, ayun na yung seal banda doon. At ito yung mga other enclosures, elephant enclosure. Oh, ayun na. Tingnan natin ang seal.
Let's do one main group, please. So stop right there. We'll join you, and then we can all go together. Right.
Come on, guys. So, ayun ang seal. So, kung makikita nyo ang seal, ayun ang seal, guys. So, tingnan natin sila, guys.
Oh.
Look at the seal. See? What he's doing? See, they're all underwater. Sea lion, right? Ang sarap nila tignan, guys, oh. Ang ingay pa.
You know these have to pass.
Big na put it in your house. Gusto pa ng anak ko gawing pet sa bahay. Mukhang mahirap yung gawin. Pero binoise over ko muna, guys, para at least
Where does it live?
explain ko sa inyo. Itong enclosure na ito ng seal, usually nagpapakain sila dito ng every 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
The ocean, of course.
Right now, medyo parang napaga tayo.
They're like big
yan,
dog water dogs.
na sila. Yung seal na yan.
That's their food. Dead fish. They like dead fish. It's like fish bowl.
Right? Can I?
Camera, I want to see that.
So guys, hanap pa tayo mamaya na mag-vlog. So right now, papunta kami sa tram. Sasakay kami ng train. Tapos titignan namin kung magsasafari tour kami dito sa Bronx Zoo. So, nakita nyo mahaba yung pila. Pero, papakita ko sa inyo.
No, they all look good.
Stand clear of the opposing doors, please. Welcome aboard the Wild Asia Monorail. My name is Ashley and I'll be your guide and driver today. For your safety, please remain seated at all times with your arms, legs, and small children inside the cars. And if you need me for any kind of emergency, there is an intercom next to your door. Now let's get on our way here. Who's excited to see some animals today? Woo! I think we can do a little bit better than that. Let's try that again. Who's excited to see some animals? Woo! There we go. Awesome, awesome. Well, as we cross over the beautiful Bronx River here, we will be transported into Asia as if by magic. Here in Conha Meadow, we have 3 different species of deer, 1 species of antelope, and plenty of peafowl to go around. If you look towards the left-hand fence line over there, you see those golden honey-colored deer laying down against the fence.
Oh, right there in the fence.
Those guys are some of our Barasinga deer. We do also have some more of them laying against this fence on the right-hand side.
Right there in the fence, baby.
They get their name because Barasinga means 12-timed in the Hindi language, which refers to the males having anywhere between 12 and 14 points
Oh,
on
look at
their
that, look at that,
antlers.
look at that.
Now, these white
Wow.
cream-colored deer right here, these are our Bactrian deer. Our Bactrian deer are brand new to us here at the Bronx Zoo. This is their first season on exhibit with us.
Oh, first season. Nice.
Now it does look like we're going to catch up to the rest of our deer and antelope on the other end of their field today. So in the meantime, we're going to listen to Michelle, one of our keepers, tell us a little bit more about Conha Meadow.
Hi, my name is Michelle. I'm part of the Wild Asia Keeper team. We call this area Conha Meadow, where we care for about 40 Barasinga deer, 15 axis deer, 10 black buck, and a pair of muntjac. We start our day by checking on all the animals, making sure they are healthy, behaving normally, and safe. Sometimes, fawns and calves are born overnight. Newborns are given a neonatal exam, which includes weighing, vaccination, and tagging for identification purposes. While the animals are in the meadow, we prepare their nighttime holding areas so that they have a safe and clean place to spend the night.
And like she said, we're going to catch up to our black buck antelope and our axis deer on the other end of their field today. However, in the meantime, we do all know that an animal that is extinct in nature is no longer with us. Similar to the dinosaurs and the dodo birds, that's exactly what happened to these guys. Our next stop on our tour, the Mongolian wild horses. Also known as the Przewalski horse, they were actually labeled extinct in nature in the 1960s. It looks like they're going to be on the other end of their field today, probably up on top of their hill, so we're going to catch up to them in a few moments. But like I said, they were labeled extinct in nature in the 1960s. However, you could still find them in select zoos across the world. One of those being here at the Bronx Zoo, as we've exhibited these guys since 1902. We've also had over 50 foals born here at the zoo, and now thanks to successful breeding and conservation efforts by us and many others around the world, we've been able to return these beautiful horses back into their natural homes. We're going to see if we can spot them as we make our way on up here. Yep, there they are. They're going to be on top of this hill for us today, so we're going to get a good view of them in just a few moments.
Oh, there they are. Right there, right there. See?
As we're beginning to get good views of them, you might notice a couple of key differences between them and the normal domestic horses we're used to seeing. Some of those being that these guys are a little bit shorter, a little bit stockier, and they are rocking an awesome mohawk as opposed to a mane. They're also missing their forelock, which is that piece of hair that covers the front of their foreheads. Now we are going to listen to Jonathan Slatt, our Russia and Northeast Asia coordinator, tell us a little bit more about our horses.
I'm Jonathan Slatt, and I'm the Russia and Northeast Asia coordinator for the Wildlife Conservation Society. I believe that wildlife has a place on this earth. My job is to find practical solutions that allow people and wildlife to thrive together. Henry Przewalski's horse went extinct in the wild in the 1960s. On a recent trip to
Gower and our brow antler deer. Now our Gower are going to be pretty difficult to miss as they are very big and brown and have amazingly huge horns. They are the largest wild cattle in all of Asia.
You all fat. I'll get some of
They're going to be right in this. Yeah, you'll see.
Now our brow antler deer get their name from their very uniquely shaped antlers that do look like two eyebrows coming from the front of their foreheads. You're going to be able to see our brow antler deer on the right hand side of our Gower here. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see those unique eyebrows growing out today, as every year deer do shed their antlers and every year they regrow them. So all of our deer in Asia are currently in the process of regrowing those antlers. But if you look over here and you see our Gower, keep your eyes peeled as we do actually have two baby Gower. One's just 2.5 weeks old, the other's just 3.5 weeks old. But if you look and see that guy sticking his head into that tree log right over there, that's actually a hidden water bowl for them. Now our Gower grow to a very, very impressive size of weighing about 2,000 pounds, standing at 6 feet high and 10 feet long. That size makes it very, very easy for them to defend themselves against almost any kind of predator or at home. Now tigers are solitary animals, so we will only be seeing one on exhibit today. And the tiger we're visiting today, his name is Anakin, but I'd like to remind everyone to please stay seated as we do so. Now tiger stripes do actually make it very, very easy for them to blend into their surroundings, so let's see if we can find him today. I know on my last tour we had a little bit of some difficulty trying to find him today, so let's see if we can find him this time. If you guys do see him before I do, don't be afraid to shout him out. Now if you look towards the left-hand side, you can see some of our brown antler deer on top of the hill here. Well, huddle. Those guys are probably our axis deer.
Axis, they're so small. No?
Our axis deer are the only deer in existence who get to keep their spots for life. We do also have our black buck antelope in this field as well with us today, but unfortunately I don't believe I'm able to spot them. However, they are sexually dimorphic, meaning the males and females look like two completely different species. Now as we round this bend here, we're approaching a bamboo thicket. That bamboo thicket is home to our babirusa. Babirusa does mean pig deer in the Malay language, which is quite fitting considering they do look like a pig, but they have tusks that can resemble antlers. Now in our first field, I believe we're on the lookout for Linus. Let's see if we can find him today. Animal, our Asian elephant.
Oh, he's happy.
The lovely lady we're meeting today, her name is Happy.
Where is he? Oh, right there. Yeah, look how big.
Now Happy is over 50 years old,
Oh, wow.
weighing in at just around 10,000 pounds. And to keep her wonderful figure in shape, she does have to eat about 200 pounds of hay and drink about 60 gallons of water a day.
Wow. This is lunch still.
Now here at the Bronx Zoo, we like to take very good care of our elephants, as she does receive weekly pedicures and baths. You might also notice she does not have tusks, and that's because she is an Asian elephant, and only the male Asian elephants grow tusks, whereas the females do not. Unlike their African elephant buddies, where both the males and the females will grow tusks. Now as we wave goodbye to Happy, we're going to be saying hello to Miss Penny. Penny is one of our Indian rhinoceros. And it looks like she's going to be laying inside of her mud wallow right over here. You might notice that she has some white stuff on her face, and that white stuff is actually sunscreen. As Penny's a very sensitive girl, the keepers have to put sunscreen on her face every morning before they bring her outside. Now I know she might look like a rock, but the easiest way to tell a rock from a rhino is if it wiggles its ears. And what she's doing right now is coating herself in mud so that she can protect her skin from the sun and from insects. Because even though rhinos do look like they are armor plated, it couldn't be further from the truth, as it's just the way their skin folds over. So they may seem tough, but they're actually quite sensitive. Now she is an Indian rhinoceros, which means she does only have one horn, as opposed to these southern white rhinos over in the zoo center who do have two horns. Over there they are more of a herding animal as well, so you might see them in a group. Whereas over here Penny is similar to our tigers in the fact that she is solitary. Now here at the Bronx Zoo we've had over 11 baby rhinos born here. And for all my moms on board the train, our mama rhinos remain pregnant for up to 16 months, giving birth to a baby weighing up to 100 pounds. Now this mud wallow in the center was put here when we first opened our rhino exhibit, but has been progressively made bigger by our rhinos stomping around in it. Now we are going to listen to a little bit more about some of the different rhino species we like to try and save in the wild.
The rhinos you see here are Indian rhinos. We work with habitats all over the world that are homes to rhinos. Here is a note from our field office in Sumatra, Ed Rulan, who works with the Sumatran rhino. Sumatran rhinos are the smallest of the world's rhinos, and they are considered critically endangered.
My name is Wulan Kusturi, and I'm the Species Conservation Specialist for WCS Indonesia program. We carried out an island-wide survey of the last wild population of Sumatran rhinoceros in Indonesia. With so many unknowns on how to manage Sumatran rhinos in the wild or captivity, our studies showed definitively that we must protect them at source. The cost of doing nothing could be the extinction of the species. And I can't imagine that.
Now, as you guys might have noticed, we've entered our next area here, which is home to our sandbar deer, like that guy laying down on the other side of the tree island, and our nilgai antelope, like the guys on the behind this one tree island here. Our sandbar deer are the darker of the two deer, whereas our nilgai antelope are the lighter tan of the two. Our sandbar deer might also look like they're going a little bald, and that's just because they've shed their winter coats and they're regrowing their summer coats. Our nilgai antelope also have a black and white stripe around their hoofs, which kind of resemble black and white socks, and they have 2 white dots on their cheeks and a white rump. Our sandbar deer are also growing back their antlers just like the rest of our deer here in Asia, so you might see some stubs or some spikes where those antlers are growing back in. Now, nilgai does mean blue bull in the Hindi language, which refers to the males having a bluish coat. However, here at the Bronx Zoo, we do only exhibit an all-female herd, so we won't be seeing any of those blue bulls here today. But you can probably get another glimpse of them if you look towards the left-hand side over here. Now, both the nilgai antelope and the sandbar deer are 2 of the largest deer and antelope in all of Asia. However, as we begin to make our way into our next field here, we're on the lookout for our smallest deer in Asia, the Chinese tufted deer. The Chinese tufted deer are very small, weighing only up to 40 pounds each. And they are a dark brownish gray in color. So they're sometimes harder to spot, especially because they do like to hide in the leaves towards the back of their enclosures. They're also really not big fans of the heat, and they are one of the only animals we allow in and out of their enclosures during the day so that they can remain cool. So unfortunately, I don't think we'll be able to see them today. But if we were able to get a closer view of our male, you would have seen that they do have canines that grow to about 2 centimeters in length, giving them the nickname the vampire deer. Now, as we cross back over the beautiful Bronx River here, we know that many captive animals call the Bronx Zoo their home, but many wild animals also call the Bronx Zoo their home, and this river plays a very important part in that. This river provides habitats for different ducks, turtles, fish, geese, migratory birds, and even an osprey or a hawk now and then will come down and scoop up some dinner. Now, as we're making our way into our next field here, you might notice some rocky terrain. The rocky terrain is actually quite perfect for our next 2 species, which is our markhor and our Himalayan tar. If you look right here at this rock and you see this guy with the dark stripe down his back, that's one of our Himalayan tar. Their horns are shorter and go straight back as opposed to curling, like the markhors do right here. Our markhor male's horns can grow up to 3 feet in length, while our female's horns can grow up to about 1 foot in length. Our males do also have that long beard, while our females have a goatee. And as you guys can tell with our Himalayan tar, they kind of look very similar to our markhor. But the biggest differences is their horns, like I said earlier, the fact that their coat's a little bit shaggier and a little bit darker in color with that dark stripe down their back. Now, both our markhor and our Himalayan tar can jump up to 6 feet high without a running start. They've been known to climb trees so that they can reach the freshest leaves. They also have rubber-like cores in the center of their hooves, which makes rock climbing very, very easy for them, similar to if we were wearing a hiking boot to go rock climbing. Now, if I can direct your attention to this big giant tree right here, and you look down straight just past it, you'll see Linus, our red panda, sleeping in his tree nest. And if you look towards the back past these rocks, you'll be able to see some more of our markhor. Nowadays, we do know that the red panda and the giant panda are not as closely related as we previously thought, even though they do both share the same name and both love bamboo. Our red pandas, however, are more closely related to skunks, weasels, and raccoons than they are to the giant panda. If you guys are interested in seeing more red pandas today, I'd recommend checking out our Himalayan Highlands exhibit, where you'll also meet some of our snow leopards. Now, as we round this bend here, our journey is unfortunately coming to an end. But I'd like to let you guys know that this summer the
Rattlesnake! I found a rattlesnake! And it's real.
Oh, this is a fright law. I really want to catch snakes.
And it's real. That's real. You just saw it real.
No.
That's cute.
I've never touched this snake before. There's this snake.
I've always wanted to touch a snake. Let it hide me.
I think anyone's touched it.
Can I see what's here?
So Denny, will you be eating here? This is the ramen place? Called Ramen Gym.
Oh, it's octopus. No, I don't want that.
Nice place. So guys, dumating na yung aming ramen. Ito ang miso soup ramen. So tikman natin kung masarap.
Have good spice tolerance.
Mukha namang masarap siya.